texture. Where you go bare, you fill that up with shapes.
Just a few little Figma
You know, and then
shapes.
you get a creative direction, right? Look, I put all these shapes in here, and there you go. We got a creative brief halfway written. Let's just do shapes. Listen, everyone, what if we just did shapes?
Hey, have you heard
What if we
of
relied on the bold,
what are your feelings on
sharp
shapes?
lines
Hey,
of
we're
these
live,
shapes?
everybody.
We're live. Are we live? Hey, what up, YouTube? What's
By the
going on
way,
Saturday night?
Saturday night we're just
After
chilling,
hours.
making
We
some
are just chilling.
designs. Nick's putting some
Designing this new
shapes on
After
this.
Hours banner.
It kind of
I actually
no, go. It kind of reminds
go
me of like
ahead.
the X-Files scene with like a UFO landing in the background, flying saucer.
Well, yeah,
Or
I mean,
something.
we wanted to do the After Hours show, so I feel like it's not like a nightlife After Hours. It's more like a murky sort of X-Files swamp. That kind of After Hours, like bad.
Yeah, like it's
bad midnight
like
hours.
it's getting late. Maybe we should think about, at least locking the doors.
Going to bed. You're thinking about going to bed, wrapping up your night early, and then you see that live After Hours button blinking on YouTube.
You're like, I've got to do
Welcome
it.
to the swamp. Coming to you live from the swamp.
I'm gonna turn the color. I'm gonna turn the
After
colors a little
Hours.
redder in my background. Ooh, that's kind of too intense. Let's get kind of a pink and red hue going.
You can probably just change that right on the banner, I think. You can. You could do like a more pinkish red, which I prefer. When I was a younger designer, I was really into the yellow reds. So that's when you're down into the reds and you just give it like just a touch of yellow just to make it not quite, hard red.
Okay. Interesting.
But now in this year, our Lord 2021, I'm more sort of up in the violet to red territory.
So what we're looking at...
Actually, you know what? That's a better logo. I don't know if you're zoomed on that.
Yeah. But... what were we just looking at before you changed the clock? What would you have said the backgrounds were versus each other? Yeah. So that clock is a what versus the other one? Yellow?
I would say this is a red. I guess you can't see my color palette here, but that's like a red with just like a touch of yellow orange in it.
Maybe I can try and enlighten everyone. I think I can do it. Yeah.
See that fill palette?
Yeah.
So that's like a red. There's people in this world that I think would argue that this is an orange, and that might even technically be true, but red with just a tinge of yellow in it gives it that sort of oldie vintage look, which is cool.
Okay, and then we.
But if you go way over to that red on the other side of the spectrum, where it sort of loops around, and then just instead put just a tiny touch of violet in there, it's kind of cool.
I like it.
I like it. It's a sharper red without being too saturated. Hard red. Like if you just something's 100% processed red, it's too red and it's not gonna print or render nicely, unless you want it to just be like obnoxious, then that's cool too. This should be our maybe new thumbnail. Let's get some more like mysterious things happening in here.
It's pretty chill. I wonder if I can draw.
That's pretty cool and chill. That was the whole theme of tonight. It's good shape. Give it a stroke. All the strokes on here are 10 pixels, so you could literally do anything as long as it's 10 pixels.
Okay.
We got a star shape in here. Every vector program has a star shape, and I'm curious as to why. Why so many stars? Do people use that many stars? Do they need to be in there all the time? I guess so. You can use it here.
People like their... well, I guess if you need a star, it would be hard to draw one. Maybe they're just trying to be like, hey...
What I find, and I bet you a lot of people who work in vectors probably come across, is I'm in a situation where I need a star, but I can't use the system default star because other designers will know I just use the default star.
Don't want that.
Are you doing like a UFO?
I'm trying. I'm going to use that trick that you showed me last time. What was it? The union. I used that today.
Oh yeah, to blend your paths
into
one shape. That's a handy feature.
See, this is not aligned. So I got first alignment. We're just drawing. This is kind of the Bob Ross moment, I think. I had a half a mind to get into some of this variant stuff for the
Well,
components,
and
which
we
we could do that later.
we definitely should. I wanted to set up a stream where it was like, you know what, we don't have anything going on. We don't have a plan. We're just gonna sit here and like do this stuff.
Okay, so it didn't work the way I wanted it to. It didn't like it created a union, but
Mm-hmm.
it didn't make the line go away. You know what I mean? Like I want this bottom half of the
Uh,
circle gone. Here, let me control Z a couple times maybe.
oh, it's outlined.
Maybe I did it. Hold
I
on.
think you probably outlined your objects before you blended them.
Um,
Let me make a circle here.
they're just two. Yeah, they're just two shapes with strokes. You know what I'm going for, though.
Like that?
Um, ish. I want this
Or you
bottom.
want them to be one shape?
Yeah, I want them one shape, but I want it to look like a flying saucer. But so the bottom half of this circle should be gone. But I also want it to be transparent to fit the motif.
Like that? Oh,
Yeah,
you know what you could
like
do?
that.
What I would normally do is, so say we're doing a UFO drawing, which I guess we are now. I would copy this shape, this top shape. So eat that up. Num num num.
Yum yum.
Now select the two, and I'll hit subtract selection. So oh wait, union selection.
Yeah.
So we have our one object, and when I give that a stroke,
Oh,
that'll
okay.
just render as one object. I believe I can click in here deeper and actually get those shapes
I
back.
think it's because
Yeah, I
I did
can,
it the.
which is really
I
cool.
think I did it the wrong way. I did it the other
I think
direction.
you might have outlined them.
I did the
Because then
outline first. Yeah.
if I paste that original one back on top, I don't usually try not to layer stuff too much. Then you get the interior stroke. And then I don't know, you could do like a. Can I copy a single path in this? Oh, I can't. It doesn't copy the Bezier. There's a feature I would love to have.
Ah, the Bezier. Oh,
I need
cool. I
my
did it. All right.
Bezier.
Yay.
Yeah.
So I had to do it in the right order of operations because I did my stroke. I did it first where I took the fill away and put a stroke on it, but then I guess it just didn't wasn't having it. Oh, and that's cool. Then I can change the size of my whatever the pod of the saucer is where the alien sits. I like it. This is actually
Which is
not
an
a
important
this
detail.
isn't a crap flying saucer. I actually thought it was gonna just be silly and look stupid, but wee.
No, it's in there. Okay, if you're going to do a saucer, another common icon I like in this is the planet with the ring around it.
Yes. That'll look good. I was gonna put some little like portholes on my
Looks like pretty
saucer.
spacey.
I don't know if that'll look good or not though. There's only one
So
way to find out.
I'm not much of like a UFO guy in any sense of the term,
No.
but the Pentagon is has been regularly releasing videos and saying like we have no idea what this is.
I've seen a couple of those, yeah.
Which they're pretty cool, but that is pretty funny. Like imagine if in the UFO craze of like, you know, in X-Files times like 1999 that everyone's like we want to know what's going on with these UFO videos and they came out and were like yeah we just
I don't know.
no idea.
Yeah, that's why the U the U means unidentified. Like we don't know
Yeah,
what
I mean if it was identified this would be a different conversation.
we don't know what they are.
Entirely. Yeah, no idea on that one. Next question, please. Can I just delete a stroke and make that an incomplete object? Okay, cool, I can.
I think
So I just made points on that line, deleted the middle point. Now it's a stroke that's in the shape of what you think is a solid object. And then we got a little planet. It's a little planet guy. Whoa, spooky space.
I think it looks bad with the porthole things. It should just be this. There we go.
I think that says UFO to me.
Flying
if you needed something in your UI that said UFO.
Flying saucer.
Cool.
I like it. The star looks
I hope we
good.
discover them someday, only because I feel like the transfer of technology would mean that we get better internet.
They're like, yo, you guys don't have this yet?
Oh, you don't have plasma bit internet?
What is this, Wi-Fi?
Man, it's crazy. No, we're all just born with internet. We we give it off. We emanate internet signal.
Yeah, we're all connected. I wonder if I can make a alien's head. A gray
Oh,
alien's
like a
head.
take me to your dealer guy?
I don't think so. Well, maybe.
You know how like trends come back around in time? Take me to your dealer like gray alien vibe would be so cool.
A reboot. Take me to your dealer.
Reboot on aliens. Maybe we should bring aliens back. That's a cool like aesthetic. Nobody's doing it. Maybe like what's her name? Grimes.
Yeah, her and Elon probably be in for that, right? This kind of looks like an alien head. It's crooked, but
No, you get it there.
now I'm gonna use the other trick that I learned, just the subtraction.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
These tricks that I learned. What is this? Bill.
Do you want to see a fun way to center those eyes?
I sure do.
So say I'll just take this because it works. And I will give it a thing. Let's make it red eyes. And then I'll bring it to the front. So we have two eyes and we want them like centered on the head perfectly. And you can sort of guess, you can like drag them around or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Take those two objects and then group them. So now the eyes are one object. I keep selecting the background. That's really weird.
I'll lock that background.
I'll lock that right out. Okay. There we go. Grab that one object and then grab your head and use the align tool, like way up in the upper right, align horizontal centers, and then it just bumps it over. And then
Oh,
at least like when you're making icons, that's like mathematically perfect.
nice. Mathematically
Tip
perfect.
of the day.
As it should be.
As all things should be. Well, in design, like especially in a digital medium, you're just everything you do is sort of like I want things to be like round figures and nice edges and everything makes sense and get to center things. Especially with icons. Iconography is so shape driven that if they're off even a little bit, you can tell.
I don't know how to do angles though.
Even that left eye, I'm sorry, I'm like all over your picture here. Even that left eye, I would take that and then edit. It's got to be in here somewhere. Maybe object. How do I mirror it? How do I flip that bad boy?
That's what I...
Flip horizontal, Shift H. Blammo. Then you got the...
that's what we want.
And then we could align those like vertically. And then we could group them and align them with the head. And then we could align those center. Holy shit.
Whoops. Whoops-a-daisy. That looks good.
Anyway.
All right. I was just going to try that trick where we... Ooh. Subtract selection. Oh, yeah. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Stroke. We want a stroke of that. And then we're going to go boom, boom.
Did you copy those eyes to complete the stroke on the outside?
Wait, what? Oh.
So then that's subtracted.
That didn't turn out the way I wanted it to. I admit. I thought I was going for the cutout eyes on the side, but it looks stupid.
So subtract, right? But then paste those eyes back on top of it. And then give those the stroke. Call it 10. pull the fill from that. Make the stroke on these on the outside to match. And then you got an alien.
An alien.
Like that?
That's cool.
Like that.
Just like that. Alien zone.
Cool. I actually really like that alien. Can you hear me right now?
I sure can.
I can't hear you.
You can't?
I don't know what's going on.
Oh, no.
I can see you though, so in a way we're still kind of streaming and this is working.
I'm pretty sure I'm coming in on the stream. I'm just going to check my Zoom audio. Okay, well, we're both on the stream.
Are you back?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you. That was an error on my end. Sorry, everyone.
All right, no problem. As long as the stream is healthy, then I'm happy.
The stream condition is so healthy.
That's a healthy stream, boys.
I was actually thinking as a fun, here's a nerdy thing. Here's your Nick Brunt nerdy thing of the evening. I have some Raspberry Pis kicking around.
Raspberry.
And what if I took a Raspberry Pi, paired that with a little display, and then it had the stream health on it. So, you know, like that excellent condition, excellent connection indicator.
Oh.
I just got that sitting in a little elegant wood frame.
That would be cool.
And then I'll sell them on Kickstarter. I'll sell them on Kickstarter, never deliver, take the money, right? Mm-hmm. And then we're rich.
That's what you're supposed to do with Kickstarter.
Here's what you're supposed to do on Kickstarter. You just show a couple screenshots of a game that you might work on and then take that money. So we have a pretty cool art direction for the after hours thing that we're doing. I'm almost thinking, what if we replace the clock with your UFO?
Oh, hey.
Right?
I like that direction.
Kind of like
aliens
says
are
more
cool.
like, you know, aliens, sort of like intruders in the night, maybe like sort of like a sleep paralysis theme going on.
Yeah, but
their brand.
But also like high technology, you know, and mystery.
Yes. Little bit of mystery. We really wanted our stream to feel like an escape room. Like a conversational escape room with two people solving a mystery.
There we go.
All right.
Aliens have long arms.
Everybody knows that. They're way too long. Very long and skinny.
Is there a flip for... Oh, jeez.
Apparently Shift H will flip your thing. It does. How does it change that rotational value? It does. It just changes it. That's really handy to know. It's cool. Cool stick, man.
All right. That's enough fooling around with this stick, man.
Yeah, can we get serious with this alien background that we've been working on for once, Ian?
There's too many aliens. Wait.
I feel like oh, wait, can you bring that head back? Because I got rid of the other one. Perfect.
Phew. I don't want to lose that. Create a component.
I feel like I've said it 1,000 times as I wish my friends and family would take my alien thoughts more seriously.
Well, your wishes are about to come true. What other shapes are cool and simple? A rocket would be too complicated, maybe.
You could do a rocket, a cylinder with the fins on it. I'm trying to edit your UFO. It's not going great. I'm just gonna leave it alone.
Arrow.
Cool. We need a live indicator on there. I actually have one nowadays. Or I did.
A live indicator?
I had to compile the slates for our show in Photoshop, and I feel like weird and dirty using Photoshop nowadays.
Photoshop.
It's like I'm taking the easy way out,
like
or something.
Oh.
Like they're not dynamic enough. I need like a file I can update.
I understand. I don't understand how this arrow works though. You can't make the stupid things any bigger.
Oh, you can't change the tip. You just sort of like
You have
direct
to,
it
you
and
can
it
only
kicks me
change
out.
the stroke.
Oh, that's working, isn't it?
Yeah, but it's weird. Anyway,
What are we gonna make tonight?
what are we gonna make?
What have you been working on? You were talking about what were they? Conditional variants or something?
Yeah, the variants in Figma. They were fun. Figma variants for components. So like playing around with different buttons. So you make like your main button and then
Mm-hmm.
you would get it all set up and then you create a variant, kind of like what we were doing with the design system, but Figma has this different way of doing it where you create a variant of that and then you just make an alteration and then give it a name. And then when you're using it throughout your designs, you can like say you have a button in your prototype, you can just like 2 clicks make it the disabled state. Then you design
Mm-hmm.
your next page and then you want the button enabled, you just change it to the enabled state. And
Oh, we were looking at that last time. It actually adds like a piece in the UI in Figma where you can say like, okay, this version of this button.
mm-hmm. it I think XD had that feature first, actually. And now Figma has copied it. We can make, well, we were making forms last time. We can make a big old
Forms. I've got a thing I've been thinking about here lately.
what?
Um, job listings.
Job listings, eh?
Job listings. Can you help
Interesting.
me make some job listings?
Hmm.
I'm making some like indiscreet panels over here.
Like I'm looking at, I want a new job and I want to look up some job listings.
See, that's a tough one because like I feel like that's largely a social affair nowadays. You know what I mean? Like you go on LinkedIn, and you send messages to people who work for companies in a totally inappropriate fashion. That's how you get jobs nowadays, isn't it?
Yeah, well,
I
that's
thought
how I get jobs. I just try and post
that's how I get
these.
all my jobs, my several jobs.
Yeah, I try and get a job every couple days. If,
I
when
think
I'm
the
working hard.
capacity I think the capacity that I would be talking about, yeah, no, totally. Well, that's the gig economy, right? Is you have to have a job every like 3 to 4 days,
Hmm.
or people are going to notice that on your resume. I think.
Yeah.
Um, so I think like the situation that I'm talking about is more like job postings. Like I am X organization, I have a web presence, and I want to like post the shit out of my jobs on here.
Hmm.
Like it
Okay.
used to be in the old days, like more of like an Indeed approach. So I guess what I'm thinking
For one
I
company?
need your help with is like cards, right?
Hmm.
Like, for posted elements. So, um, let's make a faux job site here.
Is this
Indeed is pretty cool. What's like a cool generic name for a job site? Like you've got Indeed, you've got Monster, which is a funny one.
I wonder how they ever came up with that.
Let's see. Yeah, it's a bad one, especially when you have Monster energy drink. It's just my mind goes right
Job
to energy
Factory?
drinks. What about Job Ghost?
Job Ghost?
Yeah, Job Ghost. And it's sort of like a mascot driven thing, like an Ask Jeeves, but it's a ghost.
Okay.
We'll go with him, and we will make 200 point type. I don't even know how big the canvas we're working on is, so if people are seeing values, other web designers, I'm sorry now.
It's pretty big.
So, well, yeah, it's pretty damn big. This is 200 point type.
Maybe we should make
We'll
it
put that
smaller.
up in the upper left.
It's 4,000 pixels.
Is it? Can we zoom if I make it like a proper size, like a 1440
Yeah,
kind of thing?
I'll try and do it live. Let's zoom right in. Job Ghost.
I'm gonna do 880. I did 1440 by 880, and I know that's wrong, but
The height doesn't matter.
that's for our huge fan base to sort of. By the way, if you are listening, all of our fans. Please don't be afraid to hit that like button, say hi in chat, visit us on Twitter, send mail to our homes. Whatever you can do to help out is definitely appreciated, especially likes on our video. It just helps with the algorithm to help other Saturday night design nerds find us.
Mm-hmm. We need that.
Like, this is what designers do. It used to be pre-pandemic. I think the marketing scene was very like drinks in a bar. Now it's very get on Zoom and drink while you're making stuff.
Work from home life. Okay, so
it's not work from home life.
Is this a job site that lists jobs from lots of different companies, or am I at a business that just lists their own jobs? Who's our client here?
Oh, that's a really good question. So it probably can't be something like a job ghost. It probably has to be like organization name.
Mega, yeah, like Global Products Incorporated. Maybe they've got lots of divisions. I guess the only reason I'm asking that is because it would narrow down. It actually might not have a big effect on it. I was just going to say it might narrow down the types of jobs that are available, but if you're a big enough company like Global Products, you'll probably have a lot of different types of jobs anyway. So you'll need, not to jump to solutioning.
But I think we're kind of, for the sake of discussion, we're there. But like, say there's like, I don't know, 5 different job types.
Okay. I'm with you.
At Global Products Co. And this would be a jobs page, I guess. I'm getting so specific about the thing that we're making here, but we'll get there. Global Products Co. Job listings.
Jobs.
We're going to nav in here. Home. I'm not even going to put a home button. Everybody knows to click the logo, right? Everyone. All internet users.
I think a lot of people know that at this point.
Let's do home. It was always a nice way to save an item on the nav, because usually, especially with, I mean, we're talking about websites, not mobile devices, where usually this kind of stuff is more vertically oriented. It's like you always wanted to save horizontal space on the nav, so you would be arguing that you don't need home on there. Do you ever remember having those conversations?
Yep. Absolutely.
Home about our services. Our services. Jobs.
Or careers.
Sorry, Oh, careers.
Yeah.
How can we blow that out into like more of a title? Like, think careers. Think careers with Global Products Co. In our career program, where you can have a career.
Work in our factories.
That kind of stuff exists in our industry. If you're a developer and you're somewhat talented, you can find companies that will full on send you to like university with the understanding that you will work with them after. How nuts is that?
It sounds good.
You're young and promising. We will pay for all of your education, and then you work for a massive company for 5 years afterwards.
The skeptic in me thinks that it's a trap. I wish that I could be more positive about it.
In my 20s, I would have been like, that's not like, I'm just like selling myself out. Okay, you get a filter going over here.
This is my sticky note is the site. I figure we're going to need some kind of filtering.
Probably for different job types. I mean, I've started drawing these boxes here, so I've sullied the design with my thoughts. Maybe we don't even need boxes.
I'm thinking
it's more of a voice-driven experience.
I want to hear what you what the latest trends and stylings in the world of filters are. I haven't worked on a good filter in a little while. Not anything complex anyway.
Well, I mean, in this case, there's only sort of there's only one category that you could filter, would be job type. Although maybe there's other ones like posted now.
What other kind of things are there about jobs? Type of job? What are the
I guess you could
what's
filter
the
by
metadata?
salary.
What's the metadata around a job? Do we have salary listed? A lot of sites don't put that, which is annoying. But I understand why they don't.
Most of them don't still. It's
Because they don't want to
bizarre.
pay you.
Yeah, we want to pay you as little as possible, but hey, join our family.
Yeah. You're part of the
Welcome to the
family.
family.
A family
Here's a
that,
mug, you sucker. We negotiated you down as far as we could.
yeah, for every dollar we pay you, we make $3. But yeah, here's a
We're gonna
shirt.
pay you. We're gonna pay you $1.50, but if we pay you $1, we can give you this shirt. Anyway, enjoy your shirt. Welcome to the family.
The last, the hot gift now is like just hand sanitizer and thermometers. That's the last gift I was
Oh
given, the
man.
thermometer, so I could come back to the
Holy shit.
office.
Talk about signs of the end. You go back to your office and they hand you a thermometer. It's like a plague doctor in a bird mask.
It gives you a wicker basket. It's got a
With like some
thermometer.
incense to burn
Yeah, some like
to ward off the
lavender
flea
and garlic,
demons.
cinnamon. But it's just like, that's because I'm the VPs get like chemical hand sanitizer. The workers like us, the designers, just get cloves.
Your clothes. Yeah. And one of those things to burn it and swing the smoke around.
Oh yeah, what are those things? I'm gonna try out Figma's new bulleted list feature, and I'm gonna start making a list of stuff that might exist with a job. I don't even know how to turn this on.
I guess I'm gonna sit here, I'm making like really typical cards.
Card it up.
Carded up. How would you describe cards to the uncarded? I'm trying to work that one out.
A card, I guess a card is kind of like well, you're looking at them. They're sort of like separate pieces of, it's a self-contained thing that holds a bunch of content, but they're kind of a unique entity enough on their own that they're separated in a way. Like you can see here, they're on their own. The background is kind of separating each card out. So it's kind of like a list, but if you had something a little more simple, you might have just a list of stuff just on a plain white background. But does that make sense? Kind of the big visual difference is like the separation of them versus one solid background.
Yeah, I think the most straightforward way to describe them is it's a square of information. And you see them on websites a lot, like if you were to go to a news site and there's a lot of boxes with actually, a news site's a perfect example. When you go to a news site and you see a square and it's got, we call it a thumbnail picture. So like an image from the article, the title of the article, a little bit of a blurb, and then the date. That would be called an article card. And the homepage is populated with a series of article cards across a grid. So sometimes when you're talking about sites like this, you might talk about a card system because, well, we need an article card, we need a blog card, we need a podcast card, we need cards to accommodate all the different types of information we're going to post on this site. I'm pretty sure we just lost subscribers. Sorry, that was a boring one.
Cards.
Yo.
What are you trying to? I'm not trying to learn something here.
I don't want to learn. It's Saturday night. We're just hanging out making stuff. I'm making cards, but ignore that.
I'm gonna.
My line height isn't working. Oh, there it is. Never mind.
Oh, okay. Here we go. Let's I'm gonna flip over to the old browser. Which
on the stream?
Yeah. I'm gonna look at Indeed. I'm gonna go on Indeed.com and look up a job.
I'm with you. Let's do that. This is the first thing I would do if I was asking myself this question. I would have done this long before I think that you start wireframing. I get popular searches.
Verb is looking for a creative digital designer. Okay, so the company name. So that's where we differ, I guess. So that's kind of one of the differences here is Indeed lists everything, so we don't need the company name because we're just one company. Location might
Did
be
I get
important
what
though.
and where?
We're a global company. We're global products, so we're gonna have
Yes.
locations. We've got MetaV Blue Cross Designer. They have a little flag that says remote. That's sort of interesting. That it's a remote,
You
indicating
had
it's
to
a
click
remote
in.
job.
You had to click in to get this, correct? Or is this your homepage, like when you landed?
I did on Indeed.
Yeah.
I searched for UX designer.
I had popular searches, and I clicked security guard.
Interesting. UX design intern. Oh, there's a star rating. I don't know how the rating comes into existence. I'm going to go ahead and say that that's either companies telling their employees to go give them a good rating, product designer at Dash Hudson. I worked at a place where was it, what is it, Glassdoor? Was it? They said to go give us,
Yeah.
they were going to like, they offered us some incentive to go give positive ratings on Glassdoor, like money or
Yeah.
something to go if we could prove we did it. I never did it because I
It
felt wrong.
gross. Glassdoor is sort of a problem. Same with like job ratings and stuff on here. In fact, sort of product and job ratings, everything ratings on the internet in general. Entertainment's a little bit different, but I mean, I don't know about you, and I feel like there's more information out there to back this up, but people don't generally leave a review unless they're pissed.
I would think either pissed or super happy.
Yeah, like you're either so enthused on your workplace, like God, I just love this fucking place so much that you sit down and you spend 45 minutes crafting this thing to let everybody know that, um, which is way less likely than I'm pissed off and I just want to let everybody know. And then your company's communications team jumps on there and makes it fine.
Exactly.
It's just tough. And I would say everybody has issues with every workplace in the world.
Okay. Oh yeah, absolutely. I'm just checking out this MetaV Blue Cross has a good
I have issues with
description.
this. I'm getting on Metacritic right now and criticizing this show.
I'm gonna grab this MetaV one. So job title, department. They have this part called competition. That doesn't make any sense to me. Internal, external. Don't know what that means. Employment type. Oh, that's good. Full time, whatever.
They do. They list the salary like when applicable.
Yeah, they have salary here, and it says competitive. Like, what does that mean?
Yeah. What does that mean? If it's competitive, then just put it down because you're obviously competing with everyone else.
Reports to team leader, closing date. All right, that's.
But there's some pretty like. So they have a title, they have the location, they have a blurb. They have these things like easily apply remote working, urgently hiring. So some like meta categories, some meta flags to
Yeah,
make it more relevant for people. Um,
that's cool. So those are things that we can. Those are opportunities for filters. People search. So you could seniority. I don't know if I've seen that before, or minute experience required maybe. Like some jobs are like 3 years, 5 years. So you'd want to look for one that's relevant to you. Maybe you want to slip into something that requires a little more experience, and you're just going to kind of go for it. Why not? Location. Date posted. Type, department. Employment type. I'm going to put an asterisk next to the things that maybe are filters. And or like metadata that's not like big description-y things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they've definitely like given priority to certain things on the screen here. So it's like that title is obviously the most important. And then they have the company name and its location sort of in a way, but that salary is like the boldest thing on that card. This is actually pretty ugly, and they made some strange decisions here on Indeed.com. Like
Indeed, they
maybe I'm
did,
not
Nick.
seeing a view or something. No, okay. So when you open a job, it pops open to the right there,
Yeah.
and then gives you this nested scroll. So it's I mean, it's sort of a preference thing. I would rather jump into a single page. I would also think that a single page is a lot more shareable. That's probably not an issue that they
This is
have.
almost looks
That's
like
really
it's
weird.
made for like speed browsing. Like you just kind of
Yeah.
I've never heard Beyond Trust. There's some companies that I've never heard of. Junior tech writer at Proposify. Lead of UX/UI design at Beyond Trust. What's Beyond Trust? I like the sound of it. I mean, I like trusting things.
Yeah, I mean, you can go way beyond that.
I don't know if you could go any farther beyond trust than these people.
Well, what is beyond trust? I guess love? Is love beyond trust? Once I've trusted you for long enough that I love you? I mean, I guess you're not going to love everybody that you
Yeah,
trust.
well, that's you're part of the family. Beyond trust.
Yeah, you're part of the
It's
family. Welcome to our work
when
family.
trust is no longer a question.
We're just a big
You're just
family here.
beyond it. All right. I can't think of any more things based on looking at one website for a couple of minutes. It might go on a job listing.
I mean, and for the sake of discussion, let's say that this is a company that
Global products.
people want to. It's Global Products Co. People know it exists. We don't have to think about like a lot of external marketing. We more or less have to display this information for people in a way that's conducive to them applying, or figuring out what they can apply to.
I don't even think you can use monster.com to find jobs in Canada.
Really?
Let's see the Monster experience.
I think Indeed came about as a Canadian version of Monster.com.
Monster does the same thing as Indeed. It does the open on the side dealio. Location, the date posted, the job type, full-time, role. That's the job title. Start date. Oh, that's important. Start date.
I've got jobs in our province for
Monster?
Halifax. Oh, hold on, dude. No way. Monster Ambassador Team. Halifax, Nova Scotia, Monster Energy. Via Glassdoor. We could be Monster Ambassador Team. Are those the people that like show up in a Cooper Mini and like whip cans of Monster at people?
I hope so.
We are both definitely hot enough to do that job.
Mm.
Okay, Monster's nice. But yeah, same deal. Like it's geared for, I just want to sit here and click through many of these. That's obviously like an important thing to them.
It's like a quantity system.
Okay. Java developer,
they put a lot of
3 to 6
salaries
years.
Oh, this is America.
I'm at monster.ca, definitely. I mean, obviously it's .ca, but it's a thing. Okay, cool. So there are cards with the information on it.
Info cards.
That's easy. We don't need space for a logo. A lot of these have a logo on them because it's showing different companies, but we're doing something for a single company here.
Excellent point. Senior technical advisor for market. Oh, I'm going to go to a job title description.
Is that a thing that exists? I'm sure there's a generator out there.
Yeah, just oh, these are
what
like
do they call when things are due here?
Deadline?
Okay, there's no like closing date. It's more like here's the date it was posted.
Posting date for sure. We can say that there's no deadline because the deadline will just chief web developer, lead impact coordinator. Now these sound real. It's not even funny. Maybe that
you could full on put lead impact coordinator in a marketing capacity in your LinkedIn and it would totally get you there.
I'm kind of considering it.
And they're like, so wait, what was the job title again?
Lead impact coordinator. You coordinate like.
And they're like, so you're a lead impact coordinator. And you're like, well, really what I'm shooting for is director of impact coordination.
Yeah,
But yeah, I will settle for senior.
I'm a shoe-in.
I'm a
Another
shoe in
year or
for
two, I
senior
guarantee it.
impact.
We'll be popping champagne at the top.
Posted 10 days ago. We got to get a clock icon in there. Actually, you know what? I'm going to take the clock icon that I have over here for after hours thumbnail.
I'm starting to think about.
Oh, no, that's no good. So we need some sort of. How do you categorize these jobs?
Yeah, like department, like job.
I guess,
type,
yeah.
Department. I put type/department here.
So I'm just making a clock icon.
I've got some heavy rain coming down outside my window. I hope it's not showing up anywhere.
It's that would be amazing. Forest rain vibes going on in the stream. It's like lo-fi.
A
Lo-fi thing. It's definitely one a community we want to align with, I think.
What are you drawing, Nick?
Clock icon. Cap round. Boom. Clock icon.
Cool. I'm trying to think of. What's your take on filtering?
So
if you have a bunch of different
yeah, we were
things.
talking about that before. If you have a bunch of different things, I was actually working on this not too long ago, was a filtering system where it's like you add filters.
Mm-hmm.
So if it's something more complex, like I really need to be able to drill down through a few different categories. You can add things like, I want to search for value name or search name in this category. And when you add that filter, I wonder if I can make this fast enough. You sort of get a filter card.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
So like, say it was date,
like a tag
yesterday is what you want to filter by, right? That's a tag, and it's got a little X button. So you can add these things, and that changes the table that you're looking at, changes the information that you're looking at. But then when you hit that X, I'm doing this lazy way. When you hit that X, it clears that out of like the active filters. So you're like deleting it, kind of thing.
Nice. That's exactly what we have in the product I work on. We have a system though where you probably wouldn't have. It wouldn't be likely that you have more than one filter at a time, maybe a couple.
Mm-hmm.
So the way we activate our filters is we have a drop down. We have some drop downs for them, but I'm wondering if that's going to work in this case because we have a bunch of stuff that's filterable. And I'm also thinking mobile a bit. And like, do we have like a hide show thing or do we have like a modal?
I think that unless you're getting into several different data points, that this kind of filtering system is probably not needed, especially here where we're talking about if there was one, say, job type, that's totally comfortable to do in a drop down to me. Because if you're adding these cards, it's like another thing that people have to sort of, contend with, I guess, in the layout. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense?
Yeah. What is this? Can I?
Like you could also, I'll get some drop downs in here because we're probably going to end up having them anyway.
Yeah.
You could also do drop downs, a few different drop downs with a clear button, which I think is kind of the old school way of doing it. So you can set multiple values in these drop downs, and then when you're done, there's another X button there that just sort of resets them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like those.
And then you would also need a title down here that says filtering by showing results for, like, it. If we have one drop down here for job type, I don't know if it's results because that says search to me, but showing results for technical.
Right.
Position.
This would be
maybe,
I guess a listing page. I mean, a search. The listing page, I guess we're thinking of it as like the main, like for a category, say, or the main job section. Whereas if you searched, it would be a pretty similar layout, except you would have things like you just put there, like the results. You know, on a page, like on the main page, you might have like, you know, some kind of number, or maybe it's in brackets. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, no, I dig that. Dynamic titles are cool. Dynamic being for the viewers, dynamic being it's generated through code. So a person didn't write in on the website 109 job listings and they update that every day. They just have a system that spits out a number, and that's dynamically populated. So yeah, so the showing results for technical positions would be if we had a drop down filter up here for job type, and then you know, selected a category from there. You would want to let people know that they're filtering by that, or would you just leave the box up there?
It depends if, I guess it might depend a bit on if you can select more than one thing to filter by there. You know what I mean?
So yes, that's true. In this situation that I'm making right now is one drop down, one item that you can change.
Okay.
This would be an appropriate layout
Because
for
you can
that.
you can have select, you can have check boxes in, or multiple select in drop downs too. Like pretty, it wouldn't really be that big of a difference from our perspective of the design. So let's assume,
What I would do, the difference would be if I had multiple drop downs here, I would have a button that lets you clear that selection.
oh, like
So
clear it,
I'm
clear
still like,
everything.
I keep getting in the history of this show, I'm always going to get caught up trying to graphic design everything so it doesn't look like dog shit. But say job type, and then say date posted was our second filter here. You can assume that, well, you not assume, but you do know that users are able to affect both of these at the same time. So I could change for date posted and I could change for job type. Sorry, we're getting there. I'll make that 12 point font. I know you hate that, but it looks okay for now. So at a base view, we would drop that title and our cards just come up and we would call that a default view. If we change the job type to technical positions, and in this other drop down, we put posted this month. I should be doing this in multiple views. Sorry.
What's that?
I should be doing this in multiple views. So then we would be looking at showing technical positions posted this month. And we'll make that white. And I would actually bold these because it sort of indicates that those are coming from your selections.
The dynamic text, as they would say.
The old dynamo text. It's the text of the future. It writes itself. So this view looks fine. So I've selected two different filters. It's changed my view. Ideally, these cards are updating live without having to navigate away from the page. And we have a title here that is telling the user what they're actually looking at. In this position, I guess when we're talking about, you know, how to handle filters or whatever, I would have some sort of clear button over here that users could hit that reset the default view on both of these boxes.
Yeah, or it could be down here, or maybe it's both.
Oh, okay.
Maybe that's too big. It probably wouldn't hurt to have in a couple spots.
Like a text link?
Like you could have, okay. Like I wonder if it
I would maybe kill this here just because I think that that's clear enough that users will understand how to use it. Shit.
You might say that it's perfectly clear.
And then you do user testing and nobody understands how to do it and you get fired.
0. Get a 0 out of 10. I think this page is. We're getting a good a layout here. Do you want to take a couple minutes? halfway
Oh yeah,
intermission.
we are at a halfway point. Yeah, this is really fun.
Yeah.
Thanks so much. We'll be back in, I don't know, what, 5, 6 minutes.
Yeah, smash that like button. We'll be back in 5, everyone.
Actually, you know what? Maybe like 20. I was gonna go have a shower.
Yeah, 20, 30.
We'll be back in a half hour, an hour, or like
Something.
5 minutes.
Yeah. Half
Something.
hour, 5 minutes. And back.
Are we back now?
We're back.
Okay, we're way back. Cool. What
We're way
up?
back.
What up, concurrent viewers? Thanks so much for sticking with us through the break. We love
What's
you
this?
each individually.
What's this X? Did you make that, or is that a character?
No, I made that.
Okay. I was thinking of pulling the clear thing out of the normal text. I don't know why I put it in with that to begin with. Probably a bad idea.
I kind of like it. It's sort of contextual. It's fine.
But just like it's not aligned right. I like it where
It's one
like
of those...
just physically inside the
I
same
see what you're saying. Yeah.
text box. Probably dumb.
Yeah, we could do that. I got my 8.19 size button. Let's go 10 and 10. There we go. Let's get past the clear button. All right, what are we doing here? We need Global to make Products Inc. We're working on a job site.
We're working on a job listing site, folks. It's a big company. And so they're going to have a lot of different types of postings and a lot of different category or a lot of different departments. And there's going to be a lot of different things to filter and search by. It'll give us some fun stuff to do. Design these nice cards.
Yeah, I think that's probably what I'm going to do next is
start jamming some metadata on these cards. I'll make a... I've been thinking about these filters, so I'm just going to make a drop-down menu. Perhaps. See where that gets us. Right?
Like a component?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
Dude,
like the
I'm gonna get
like the menu
meta.
part of this drop down. Like the selection stuff. What else was I gonna
Did you
do?
know that it's called a drop down because it drops right down? So slick.
It drops down like it's hot.
Drops
God
so
damn it.
low. I drop it like it's a hot reference.
Yeah, that's my good joke.
Pretty cool. It's a good joke. Snoop is somewhere going like, yeah, fucking that was a good one. It was really good.
Yeah, he'd be a fan. He's a fan of the show, I'm sure. He saw it.
He's been on Twitch.
Has he?
And I kind of love it because he's playing games. He's streaming games. He gets huge audiences. He gets like super lit and frustrated and like walks off and all this stuff. It's really great.
What are you doing, Snoop?
What are you doing, Snoop? He's like, oh, it turns out Twitch is such a revenue driver that me, like basically a billionaire musician, needs to go on Twitch because that's where the money's at. That's the state of things. Posted 10 days ago. I don't know. Does this company put salaries? We don't need to put a location because it's one company and you kind of know where it is.
Unless they have like multiple
We're not going to
offices.
do job ratings.
Not going to do ratings for sure.
Oh. Well, okay. Our company is cooltechdevfirm.co. So we're going to refer to them as campuses.
All right. That's a good idea.
And we'll call this one the Bay Area campus.
Of course.
What's an icon for location? I guess it's the
thing.
No, it's the pin. It's the pin.
The pin. But we're gonna be progressive and have an indicator if it's remote or not.
Yeah, that would be. So there's some meta like urgent that I think could be indicators in the upper right, like they live up here kind of thing, to call those bits of information out.
Okay, that's cool. Like a little flag type thing.
Yeah.
Flare. That's the word I was looking for.
Flare?
And more like not a technically named flare, just kind of a metaphorical, like, hey, it's flare.
I think with a client I'd call it a badge, maybe.
Okay, I could go with.
I actually
go with badge.
I had to text you one day. Because I was working on, I think it was a video player, and I could not for the life of me remember what handles were called. And I was like, what would you call this? Like a grabber?
The grabber.
Like a pip?
I think if you called it a grabber,
I would call that a handle.
You could get away with it. But handle, yeah. Sometimes it's fun when you know, like, you don't need to get too hung up on the technical terms all the time. But sometimes it's fun when you know those weird ones, like the thing that you grab to scrub on a video.
Oh, scrubber. Scrubber's another good
handle,
one.
Yeah. Or just, thing that you grab to drag. A handle.
All right, I've got my point icon. It's a little vertical, and I'm going to make it a little less vertical. 27. So what does that look like when it's 10 pixels tall? Horrible. 10 by 12.
So this is this filter like date posted? Is that what we'd say? Like, and then posted
I would
this,
say
posted is like, is that the title of this?
Wait, what?
Would we call like the default state of this drop down date posted?
Oh, probably date posted, yeah. Unless there's better terminology in there.
No, I think that's good.
Posting date. I am constantly mind blown when copywriters point stuff out to me. Actually, copywriters and even QA people point out like inconsistencies in your language. What was the one that got me one day? Damn, it was something like, man, this is super good content when you take a moment to think. It was something like, there's only one way to say this word. So like to exit something. Oh, it was closed versus exit. That's exactly what it was.
Okay.
So close can also say close.
Mm-hmm.
And for people who don't speak English as a first language, that can be a big challenge. Those like little things for them. So use the word exit instead, because exit only means one thing.
Cool.
And that's that speech. Let's clip that off.
Exit.
Let's get that in a clip.
I remember in like, this is before school, even when I went to preschool. It was kind of like a daycare situation, I guess, but more like a school. Anyway, they said they really wanted to make sure, and this is like one of those memories that you just have as a child that sticks with you your whole life, but they were very adamant to point out that it was exit with an X and not exit with a G, because there's no eggs in it. They would point at the exit sign. And it's like, there's no eggs in that. And I always used to think of like those exit signs.
And you were like, yes,
with eggs in them.
And then they slapped your knuckles with a ruler. Well, that's a very Canadian thing. That's a very Canadian thing, is it's not eggs, it's eggs.
Eggs.
Or it's not Greg, it's Greg.
Old Greg.
I was laughing about old Greg the other day because I happened to be watching the Great British Bake Off with my partner. Like, it came on and we were watching it for a few minutes or whatever. And now I'm probably going to watch it forever. But Vince Moon is one of the hosts on that show. And I was like, that dude is old Greg. And she's going, no. And I'm like, it is. This is old Greg right there. He's doing a cooking show now.
All right.
I appreciated that. The Mighty Boosh was a good show for its time. Probably one of those things that if you were to go back nowadays, you'd be like, what was I laughing at? Okay, we get a card. We get a title. We got posted 10 days ago. We have a location. Should we do salary? Let's do salary, because I think that we feel like companies should do that.
Let's do it. We could have a range, or we could have a fun filter that's got a slider with a range that you can never quite get the thing in the right spots that you want it to. But hey, it looked cool in the meeting.
I was having this discussion about sliders the other day. So if you have a slider that does very specific values, and like, I feel like sliders, I'm gonna get in trouble for saying this with my design friends. Sliders that pedal in specific values, that value should be displayed, and you should be able to tap it and edit it.
100%. That shouldn't get you.
So I don't want to drag my slider to 12. Sometimes I just want to tap the box and type 12.
Yeah.
And that's actually something that's in material design, is like, normally you'll see with a scrubber. A video player is different because it's a totally different behavior. I'm not talking about that. But yeah, that text box is usually associated with the slider.
A lot of the time when it's for money too.
And I'm just so goddamn angry about it, Ian.
I just want that exact number.
I hate it.
I mean, come on. I'm just gonna wrap this whole beast in a frame so that I can play with the prototype. I don't think it's going to break anything.
What's a good money icon? I guess a money symbol.
Bag.
I mean, that symbol for money is only relevant in North America, but this is also Global Products Inc. You know, this cool dev tech firm.
Global Products Incorporated. Making the
I
stuff
thought the
that you
weird one.
buy.
Well, if you were to look up like what's an icon for money, so you get the money symbol, you get bags of money, which is almost nobody's ever going to be dealing with stacks of money, and
Stacks
you
of,
also get stacks of coins.
oh yeah. Stacks of coins and money look cool, but hey, remember when we were talking about like the save icon being a disk and people don't know what a disk
Mm-hmm.
is because we don't use disks anymore?
Yep,
What about when we don't use money? And the money like a
it'll
stack
just
of
be
coins, it's like
BTC.
what's this stack of coin what are these pieces of paper?
Well, son, you see, pennies used to be made of copper because copper cost 1 cent. Yeah, I don't know. I want to make a money icon that is sensitive. It's like the I don't want to talk about money of money icons.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe there's an icon for like general currency that would be better. Currency.
Yeah, is there like a generic money currency icon?
No, you just get all the symbols like the dollars, the euros, the yens, the pounds.
Francs and Deutschmarks, all of those monies. I'm just
I
gonna
know
play with
I know for me, I only do business in Turkish liras. I like to make it really difficult for my freelance clients to pay me. I'm like, yeah, no, I accept ruples.
yeah, it's like I take the principles of usability kind of seriously until it's time to pay me. Then I make it hard.
And then it's difficult. I really want you to jump through those hoops.
I'm just setting up a quick just for fun, a drop down in the prototype just to kind of show off how Figma has this overlay feature. So I made like a little drop down menu, and then I can just have that overlay on the same page, and I can choose custom or manual, they call it. So
Okay.
I could center my overlay like a modal, like a common, like as is common, but I'll choose manual and just kind of place it in this spot over the screen so that when you click on the thing, it should pop up, and it's probably going to look strange, but
In prototype mode. Oh, you're working up here. Where are you working?
I'm just everywhere, man.
Oh, you're over here. Okay. Sorry. I was like, nothing looks different. What have you even been doing? It's like, honestly, I was just playing Doom.
Oh yeah, geez. Figma runs Doom. Imagine if you could play Doom
Figma
inside of
would run
Figma.
Doom.
Oh Jesus.
Speaking of Raspberry Pi projects, that's another one that sort of got me is a little like single screen in a nice frame, and all it does is play Doom. Like you can plug a Bluetooth controller into it and play Doom. That'd be cool.
I would like that.
That's what you do with Raspberry Pis. You
Me.
get them, and then you just sit there endlessly thinking about what to do with them, and then you never do anything with them. Okay, we get our meta information in there. Is there CTA on here?
Yeah. What is the seat? Learn more. Apply.
I mean, I guess you just go to it to apply
You know what this needs that we haven't done?
a form.
A flow, like a real quick one.
Yeah, you know, we should almost take a whole episode and do that some night of like, hey, here's some of the things that we think about before you even start drawing boxes, which is like, how do users move through this thing? Because I don't know, and normally, I mean, I know for me, once you're at the point where you're spending somebody's money on design services, you sort of want to like know that stuff before you start making it. Not us though, not on Saturday night. I'm just designing things the old way. Web 2.0, baby.
Web 3.0. So I guess, yeah, normally we would have a flow of the things you can do here. But at a very high level, I guess when you click on one of these, it's going to take you to a new page. We're not going to do the show on the side thing like Indeed was doing, right?
Well, we could.
Unless we wanted to move it over. So yeah, so what happened? How do you read the whole thing? Does it compact itself, or does it like expand?
I want to build this Indeed thing now. Wait, how much information is? I mean, you could do an accordion.
Because we could
You
prototype
could
that
do
out,
an
which would be,
accordion fold.
yeah, we could do accordion. We could do Indeed.
Well, like, let's talk from usability standards. Like,
I'm wondering why they both did that. Like Indeed and Monster both did the same thing. So that interested me a little bit. What their
I'm
choice was
assuming
there.
because it's, I mean, like you say, like it's meant for rapid browsing. Like, whereas you go to a company and they have jobs, there's probably not going to be hundreds of them. And there's probably not going to be hundreds of them in your category. So it might just be something that we don't have to worry about. Like maybe it's a single page presentation. But that's not fun. That's not
What's
fun
the
or
most?
cool.
What's the most fun that we can possibly have? No offense.
Accordion folds are kind of cool. I feel like those are so old. Is that
Yeah,
relevant?
it's. I mean, it's not the most relevant. There's way more relevant things. Modal? No.
I
What
could
if
foresee.
expand like a star white?
I could foresee something that eats this space up. So it's like. Sorry, I just had to get an arrow icon in here. Sorry, I'm dead airing all over the place here. There
I
we
can hear
go.
your mouse
I could
clicks,
foresee.
so
Can
that's
you
not dead
really?
air.
Damn.
No, I like it.
I'm gonna I'm gonna have to get something. Well, that's the ASMR part
I
of
think
this
it's
whole
just a
show.
little, yeah, like you're gonna have a little mouse and keyboard click. That's how you know we're actually doing this work live.
Oh my god, dude, we should set up a design ASMR stream, and it's just like a designer sitting there clicking away, and every once in a while they like groan, or you hear like the Slack notification, and the designer goes like, "Oh Jesus Christ." Anyway, we'll do that next weekend.
Yeah, there's plenty of time.
I could foresee something where you click these cards and something eats up the space on the screen. I don't know if that's better. That's not better than it appearing to the side for sure. I'll make this into a component at some point. I actually want to make this into a component with like
I think
the
there's some
different
fun stuff.
variations of the card.
Yeah, we can make a
I'm
real
gonna
cool
keep.
component out of this, but I think we'll do that at the end. After we've got like a good layout, we'll make a couple
Yeah,
components out of like this, and then we can prototype it. And I actually think I think it looks good already, and I like these little filter um, tag things. I want to make those work and prototype it so they come and pop in and then click away.
we could definitely do that. I mean, I think that the use case for that is that the filtering just becomes more complex than is usable in this way. Like this is why people are used to. Um, although, yeah,
We've got this too. We've got the
you
drop
just.
down menus too. I've got
But
to
they almost you would to add one of these tags, you would almost have to confirm it, wouldn't you?
I don't know.
So it would be more of a setup like this. Sorry. This would be an add button, and we would have a drop down that says data type, and then you would have something in here that's value, but this is typed, and you don't have a selection. So I can select. I'll make that button look more like a button. So I can select the type of data that I want to filter, and then I can add a value based on what I want to filter by, and then I can add that filter to my list. And when I do that, so when I do that, I'm just gonna move this stuff out of here. I get a card down here. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, and I think that's probably too much for what we want as well. I like the
So do you
drop
see
down.
it?
I like that one.
So do you see? I think that we could still get the cards in there, but do you see like I pick a thing from a drop down and it adds a card down here? Like, do you know what I mean? Does that translate?
Yeah. I could, but it also works in this. It's pretty much the same as this. The only difference is it lets
I'm
you clear
actually
one or
it's
the other.
it sounds like I'm challenging your idea, but I'm legitimately asking you because you're the more knowledgeable one on this stuff.
I haven't done filters in a while. Um, I think,
This is how I happened to do one very recently. However, the data set that you were responsible for filtering was massive. So it like needed to be that deep.
so the really the big difference is this one when you can clear all the filters this way, or you can go in back into the drop down and deselect it. I think that's sufficient because like I think our assumption is probably pretty correct that you would apply a maximum of one or two filters to something like this at once. Like
Yeah,
you might do location and salary and you know.
yeah. My thought is if rather than two drop downs you were into four or five, then it's like, okay, well, this justifies the use of a more complex system because that's how you just make it more useful for people. I think
Yeah.
that's an assumption. You would have to test it
You would
extensively,
have to
obviously.
this would be easy stuff to find out because you could just watch people use some different job sites and
Mm-hmm.
that would be pretty easy because you could there's a lot of different it would be easy to reach those people
Yeah.
even if you had your own site where you could watch your own users, that's one thing. Or you could use I've used the like usertesting.com and services like that where you
Mm-hmm.
kind of set up a little task for people to do and then it gets the users for you. That's good for really general stuff like how do you buy this type of product online, and then they just you start out you give them the task that's like that, and because it's pretty generic you can uh,
I think it's
get anybody really, and then
I
it's like usually they go to Google and they find this and you just watch them use other sites, you watch them use your competitors.
to me, and I think probably everybody in the digital field feels this one, is watching people use your product is 1,000 times more beneficial than hearing their opinion about how they used it. Or
Yeah.
like, what would you like to see in this app from a user? And they will give you an answer that's not really feasible, or it's not really coming from a place that's looking at, through an app design lens. It's like, well, I need a button to do this. Why doesn't this button do this? Where's the button to do this? But when you can watch somebody use it, you can actually make decisions that sort of help that user flow, I think.
And if you ask people what they would like or what they would do, I mean, I want to hear it, but
I want to hear what you
everyone's a
would
lot.
like the
Everyone's
app to
just gonna
do.
lie.
Yeah, everybody lies.
Remote.
You get a joystick there.
That's a remote icon.
Oh, I get it.
Lol. No, not really.
I think I just burped on stream.
Sweet. Now I can't.
Yeah, brutal. You get one. That was the deal that we struck. We're going to do this show, but I mean, if you do it, I get to do it. What am I selecting that's selecting everything? The background. There. Rectangle 15 is no longer our issue.
I hate rectangles, especially rectangle 15.
All I guess the audience can't see this, but our nested groups over here are like group 56, group 49, group 47, group 51, group 48, containing a text box.
That's okay. We'll fix that. We'll fix that after. We will fix that. So fix it so hard.
Do you think that arrow on the right is sufficient for like a read more? Like I can click this and it's going to take me to more information about the thing? Because
Yeah. Well, you could probably click the
on
whole
mobile,
thing anyway.
yeah.
But definitely.
Yes, you should always be able to click the whole thing.
It should be.
That's a good.
We'll test it.
That's a good point. I feel like I've been pounding this drum for a long time. If you have something like this in the corner that says read more, and again, we're talking about card designs. Hopefully we can get a clip or two about card design out of this episode. But so you have a card and you have something in the lower right that says read more, or it's a link or a button, and you know that I have to click that thing to go into the card. From a web design perspective, this entire white box should be clickable, and they can click anywhere on this box. You have that read more link on there because it informs users that they can click it and they keep going. Right?
That's correct. Yes.
Good. Because I feel like I've been saying
that
one forever.
No, you got to make everything clickable.
Everywhere on the internet.
It should be clickable, especially because on mobile, that's going to be tabbable too.
And, you know, specific to this excerpts, this might be old research at this point, but that underlined read more attracts so many more clicks than any other configuration of words. And it's confusing as to why.
And I guess that's another point on mobile is like, I can see how this will work on mobile, but you know, we're doing desktop.
Yeah, that arrow to the right.
We always start on desktop here because it just fits.
Bad.
Yeah, or who cares? Mobile first though. That's mobile first is almost not even said anymore because it's just kind of so obvious. But
well, and you probably will notice I've been working on this in a single column in a way that's conducive to mobile. And yeah, like Ian said, like on mobile, that arrow on the very right is way more than enough on mobile to let users know that this goes to a next panel. Usually it's a slide transition. When I see an arrow to the right like this on mobile, I feel like when I tap this thing, the whole screen's going to slide to the left. And that's usually what happens. Do you know what I haven't thought about yet since we've been doing this? How would you actually apply for a job? You gotta. There's a single page. I'm actually gonna start building that. Maybe.
Well, that was that. I think that was what we were talking about with the arrow. Like, does it take you to a page? Does it pop up modal? Does it do what those other sites do?
I'm gonna move your stuff onto this canvas, Beans, because
don't put it on the canvas.
Oh. Why?
Because then it's on the page. That's on the design. You can put it up here.
Oh. Yeah, I just don't want to like push you out of the frame. I was just going to start working on like an interior page design.
I think I'm done with
Maybe these. I should. Maybe that's too much. I got a carousel down here I could be working on. Next previous buttons. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's enough entries for one page.
That's good for now. We'll make things scroll. Figure out how that works. What else is needed?
That was always the joke about Google. Was but Google was that it was like, why do you have 10 entries per page? So when you Google something, you get 10 results back.
Okay.
And normally you would think that kind of thing is really, really researched, and Google did it in their first iteration because they're like, I don't know, we just had to pick a number. There was no research that went into that. It was just like we had to pick it.
That sounded good.
10 sounds good. I don't know. It's fine. I'm doing next previous buttons.
Next previous?
I guess.
Oh, there we go.
How do you handle multiple? What's the cool new thinking on multiple page?
Do we do like infinite loading? There's issues with that, isn't there,
Oh,
sometimes?
not on a React front end. I actually, I've done quite a few lazy loading sites.
Yeah, I like it. I don't like having to click. Am I the audience?
Yeah.
It's cool.
Are you the audience? Are you
Wonder
looking
if we
for a
could wonder
job?
if you could prototype that.
So I would go really quick.
Hmm.
What is it? Loading.io. I mean, I usually like to make my own spinner GIFs, but loading.io will let you comp one very quickly for your designs.
Loader.io. When you need a loader, loader.io's got you. Am I right?
Well, yeah, announcing our first sponsor for this website, loading.io. Bear with, pull that down. All right, now we've got a loader.
Oh, what can I do that's useful and fun?
Make something cool and really entertaining and funny.
Oh, wow. That's a lot of
Like, what's
questions.
like the next big thing on the web? Can you like maybe take a crack at that?
All right. Let's see what I can do. The next big thing. All right. All right.
It's crypto.
Yeah,
It's obviously
I'm gonna
crypto.
go mine some crypto. Be right back. Gotta mine that
BRB.
crypto. Let's go mine that crypto real quick.
Let's find that crypto real quick. Transparent on. I'm still making a spinner. Although that's pretty good. 30 seconds for a spinner is not too bad. A spinner, everyone, when you're
Spinner.
loading something or you're like streaming something or on YouTube and you see that loading icon, it spins.
Mm-hmm.
We call those spinners. They come in lots of different formats. It's kind of just a visual indicator to let users know that something is loading. So I have this dumb one here that I made. I'm going to put it at the very bottom of this list of things. And maybe some text that says next entry is loading. I don't know how screen readers would interpolate that. Like if you're lazy loading into content, how does your screen reader deal with that? Like in terms of accessibility. So I'm just going to go ahead and put raw text under the spinner that says next end. Next entry is loading, entries loading. And then that will hopefully do it. Is that center palette? God damn, that center palette's so good. Or the align palette.
Oh, and Figma are just a general feature.
Just in general, like in everything, it's like you can take two objects, center them here, center them there. It's lovely. Figma is actually pretty smart. So if you select two discrete objects and use the align tools, it will align to that selection. If you group all those objects and then use the align tool, it'll align it to the canvas. So if you just have one object and you want it to be centered to the actual canvas, like the frame that you're working on,
Okay.
it'll do that too.
Very handy.
So I would, what's that, 4? If we were lazy loading, I'd maybe go to 8 because I want it to be a little meaty. And I don't feel like that's asking too much of the servers. I have worked on stuff before with lazy loading. I guess, again, for the audience out there, lazy loading is when you scroll on a website and the content just sort of like pops in on its own below as you go. A lot of news sites and stuff do it. So you don't have to say like go to next page. It just keeps going. That would be lazy loading. And I've had troubles before because when you're loading all that stuff in, like you're hitting the server.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times if you have 4 or 5 entries per page, it's only hitting that server 4 or 5 times for X amounts of data. If you've got dozens of entries on a page and they're lazy loading and loading in as you're scrolling and stuff, that can become really server intensive and all of a sudden becomes a budget issue. So I would advise caution on your budget weighty lazy loaders, Ian.
Yeah, well, I've been lazy on my lazy loaders. That's something,
Well, it's one of those things.
you don't think about that. It's
Yeah, I
not
mean
always top of mind, but it's actually like a really, I think, important part of UX is, one, speed, and the other side of servers is, yeah, it's costing money, especially if there's like a ton of traffic. It actually does add up, and that matters.
Yeah, like in a budgetary manner, like money, and if you only have so much money on a project, it's really going to matter. So you do have to be conscientious of that stuff, but I don't know if there's any developers listening, but the joke around my office is to just build a Lambda function.
What's a Lambda function?
A Lambda function is when you offload some of the computing to another server. So like your website or your app or your whatever needs to do a certain amount of things when it loads.
Okay.
A Lambda function would be taking some of that computational stuff and offloading it to a server and figuring it out and then spitting the information back at you.
Interesting.
Sort of interesting, sort of so boring. I want to jump off a cliff.
So the joke is just like offload it to another computer.
Just make a Lambda function. Just tell them to buy another S3 server on Amazon for whatever, and
spin up some more servers.
We'll do it there. Spin up some more servers. Well, we can't render that. I mean, it's awfully complicated. Okay, well, what if it just saved a JPEG and then a Lambda function, converted that to a PNG and then emailed it to me? And they all look at me upside down. And then I leave the meeting. That's how that goes. Oh, you did component that first one. Perfect.
Wait. No, I don't think I did. What did I component?
Oh, you just have it selected. Sorry.
Yeah, on select. I haven't componented anything yet. We can do that after. That'll be fun.
Okay. What would you do if these job postings are on a front page?
It would mostly be the same, except everything would be in its default state. All the filters and stuff. They would have to be sorted some way. I mean,
maybe there's not filters, like you almost have to click into it or something. Like a small, I guess I was thinking like a smaller version of these cards. I don't know if we even want to get into that because it's like,
I mean,
10 to 11. But
oh yeah, unless there's like
I'm
a
not
landing
in a hurry.
page.
I don't know what you're doing, but well, if you wanted to excerpt these on a landing page, I guess I would maybe get rid of filters, and you would have smaller versions of these cards. Do you ever drag stuff in Figma and you're like, I hope this works, and then it just doesn't?
Every day.
Every day?
Every day I've
been
using...
in Figma every day?
Yeah. Pretty much. Well, not on the weekends.
Lucky.
Figma every day. Maybe XD a couple days a week. Here and there.
I am pretty well exclusively XD. And that's not for choice. That's more like you work for a company and they license software, and that's what you do.
You never choose.
One of the reasons that I get so excited at the prospect of a Figma or a Sketch is that it will drive the price of Adobe products down eventually. Because like paying $1,500 a year for the Adobe suite is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. But that was always predicated on like, well, you can't have your job without Photoshop, so pay it. You got your Dropdowns. Are those working yet? Where are we at on the stream? Let's zoom in and talk about these bad boys. the
We're
bad
focused
boys
on you, I
of
think.
the input field world drop
I'm just trying
downs.
to. If you have a look at the. Well, I can put it on the stream too, but have a look at the prototype. I just took a stab at a first version of a drop down. I don't think it's what I want or what we want here, but
Oh, it looks
we
good.
got
No,
something
I'm just
going.
playing with it now. No, the prototype looks really good. It's like the pixels are off. You have to push those around a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's cool.
A little drop down, but I think I'm gonna do a different version over here. We're gonna try the other. Design.
How long until we get sponsored by Honey?
Honey or Manscaped? Well, we
Oh,
don't know that
Manscaped would be
we don't
cool.
know the demographic of our viewers yet. We might have like
We could do Manscaped.
what are the other popular
It's always like
ones?
it's always those Manscaped ads are always like an Australian lady going like, "Shave your balls
Quip, that's like a
with
toothbrush
this
subscription
thing."
service.
Yep, that's a good one. I mean, the Caspers, the Endies, those are all pretty good.
Ooh, I would get some like I want a sponsor that's gonna give us free stuff. Like MeUndies maybe. I could
MeUndies would be
have
cool.
some free underwear.
MeUndies are actually pretty good.
Yeah, I've got them on right. No, I mean I
If you're
don't, but if
willing
they
to,
sponsor us, then I might describe how I
I'm
feel about
totally
them.
be in. I would like to be sponsored by like a meal box company, but all they do is like noodle based things like ramens,
Noodle
maybe
box.
like a soba noodle. They're like, this week it's soba noodles. And then the next week it's all like, the glass noodles, the pad ties and whatnot.
Okay.
Let's do that.
Noodle mania.
There's a local ramen place, and through the quarantine they've been doing like home delivery.
Ooh.
And what you get is like all the components of ramen like already cooked in different containers, and then you bring it home and combine it, and oh my god,
What I like ramen.
it's pretty good. You can tell it's 11 o'clock on a Saturday because I'm thinking about ramen.
Oh, we're
Ramen and
gonna get
job
this.
sites.
Let me get this overlay and then
I'm not in a rush. If you want to chill and stream, like it's totally cool.
no,
I mean,
I
if you
don't.
are.
No,
No,
I'm
no.
almost toast here too. So it's all. What's these sizes?
We are old.
10,
We're pretty old.
10.
You're older than I am.
I am.
It's a
I'm
problem.
super old. What's up?
I have some freelance to do tomorrow.
Oh, freelance.
The life of a designer, man. Like, if you're not working 9 to 5, you're thinking about picking up freelance. Everybody always needs a logo or a website or a something.
Yeah. People always need stuff designed. Menu. I've got a couple different menu styles here. So, drop down. It's fun to make menus in Figma, folks. Well, what do you say we wrap her up?
What do you say we what, Ian? Just throw this whole fucking thing in the garbage? Fine. If you're in, I'm in, buddy. Let's just can this thing.
Ooh.
Did you just delete everything?
I just cut
I
it.
was like, oh my god, he's serious.
Whoa. Oh, it took forever because of this giant after hours thing. I want to keep working on this though. Like again, I think this is a good spot to stop, and then we can like.
No, job site's good.
Make the second page.
It's fun to do these sort of like general. Like this is something that's going to help me in this week moving forward, so I'm happy to work on it. But I like this sort of general concept. Like I don't know, just hammer out a thing.
I like yeah. Well, there's a lot of stuff we can.
There's going to be people wondering about how to design job sites. At least we took some of that initial thinking out of it for them.
Job sites. Well, and what is a job site? Is just a list of stuff. So you could apply this to, all kinds of different lists of stuff. Websites. All websites are just big lists of stuff, really.
It's a bunch of content, and they're trying to make it as easy as possible for you to read. Yeah,
I agree. Yeah, it's a big list with some metadata and some ability to filter. And next time we're gonna see what happens when you click into this job posting to see about the job description and then how you apply for it.
I think you just summed up UX so well. And it's the difference between like design in 10 years ago versus design now is you would show up with like the job listing design and go, this is what we want to do. But once you get into, okay, once they click on it, they get a single page and they get the information. How do they apply for it? Is there forms that let them apply for it? All of a sudden, you're into this thing that was one panel, a job listing, and now you're into 10 panels because there's a million variations and users need to do 1,000 things with it. So, yeah, let's do that.
That sounds fun. All right.
That's my
For
cool,
real,
fun,
no,
chill wrap
I'm
up.
excited, and I like our alien drawings. It's great.
Oh yeah, that's the new thumbnail. We should keep pecking at this. Let's just leave it in the Figma file, but next time we do after hours, this is going to be our thumbnail, I think.
Very cool.
All right, guys.
I like it.
Thanks so much for watching. All our concurrent viewers, please, again, one more time, slap that like button. Check us out on Twitter. Do all the things. Keep following us. We're having fun. This is so fun.
Good stuff. All right. Check you next time.
That's it. That's all I got.
Good night.